So let's talk about AdSense. So basically a creative studio where you can generate an ad, okay, create a new campaign out here. So basically what you do is uh, uh, I will explain the entire product. Meanwhile, first thing what I want to do is basically start the. It is about bring your own keys. I will show you this particular screen alone for now, and once I enter this detail, you will be able to see the entire section live. So I need deep infra keys. File key is for image generation, and firecrawl for basically arriving at pain points, doing a search engine the result, and then finally deriving inference on the product. Okay, deep infra is for LLM to generate content uh, with respect to headline and the subsequent sub headings and things like that. Okay, so let me pause and enter all these keys, and once you enter the key, you say starts securing session. You have so many so much of minutes if you want to retain the session. Okay, let me just pause for a moment. So I have entered the keys. So I'm going to save it for, let's say, for 2 hours, and the session is live. So you will notice that it goes green. So it means that and it actually tells you at what time the session is going to expire. So let's get to the dashboard right now. So what you see over here, the creative library, over here, all these images will be listed down over here. Basically, whatever you have created a product and from the brand kit and things like that. And once you generate an ad, all these images will appear here. Okay, so first let's get to the brand kit. Let me explain the whole stuff. I've created two brand kits over here. So when you click on the brand kit, you will see the details out here. So this is an edit kit. So basically you can change the color, you can change how you want that particular product to be interacting with you. Okay, so whether the actor has to hold the product or it has to be a product hero. When no actor is involved, you will only say it as product only hero. If it is placed on the scene, it will be on to the side or behind or wherever it is. So then product images, scene notes, how you want the whole thing to be placed on the floor or whatever the details you want to specify. Okay, so you can add the brand logo and you can choose one of the images. The same thing is available over here also. So whenever you create a new brand, let's say a product, add a brand kit for that. So basically these are standards, most of them follow. Okay, so you will have all these details. Okay, and you will say create, it comes over here. If you want to edit, you can edit here. Okay, so this is the first step. Then you get into the product. Again, create product. You will enter all these details. One is the name, the tagline, whether what type of category it is. It is this is multilingual. Right now it is only for English, and you can choose which brand kit you want. You would have already created a brand kit. You will select it from here, and then you will start providing the description, owner, target customer, then the feature of the product, one line, and what is that you think is the problem which you are actually providing solution. Okay, that is the whole concept over here, and you will say create product. The same product is available out here. Okay, so once you select, you can enter all these details. The same thing, whatever you enter here will appear. If you want to make modification, you can make the modification and save the product. And you will use AI to find out what is the actual pain point. It is somewhere in between. It is not picture perfect, but for our problem, let's say for getting the pain points of the user, the end customer, this is more than enough. It does its job because what we need is only the headline and the content. Okay, so if you want to make the changes in the content, we can do that. I'll show you where it has to be done. So once you say in for AI pain points, it will start arriving at, it will use, as I said, the fire crawl search engine, and it will crawl the pages and it will find out which are the pain points. Okay, and you will say approve pain points. Once it is done, you will go over here and you will say configure ad. Once you get to this particular page, okay, this is where the whole ad is getting created. So it is called as ad configuration. Okay, so these are basically stored into the database. Okay, so it says what product it is and what brand kit it is choosing, and whether what is the format in which you want to generate an ad, whether it is a magazine or a paper kind of an ad or a social square. When I say social square, it is for all social media. And finally, you have the orientation, whether it is a portrait or a landscape or a square. Okay, so basically these are the things available. Then you have something called subject direction. Basically, if you want to add an actor, you will provide these details out here. You will attach an image of an actor. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to add an image. Immediately it says actor image must be at least 1024 pixels on the longest side. So you can't generally add any kind of an image. You will have to select an image which is appropriately greater than 1024. Let me do something of that particular size. Yeah, so I'm just selecting one of the models. Let me choose something very good. Okay, so it has added. So you will specify whether it is a woman, feminine, you know the gender basically. So how young you want them, and what is, do they want to wear a formal attire or business attire or a safety standard. Let's say it is electrical, say SAF. Okay, so how do you want the particular style of the or the pose? Yeah, so you can specify that over here. You will say pointing hand at the product, which is nothing but smart BYOK. While standing next to it. Okay, so once that is done, do you want to include the product logo? You will add the logo, and after that you will generate prompts. So you can select either of these prompts, and if you want to change the detail of the prompt, you can, let's say the headline, you can try to save it out here, and you will say generate prompts. So once you generate the prompt, okay, so you would have noticed it allows you to create the image. Let's say if you wanted to make certain changes, this is after you have generated an image, you want to make a change, you will have to say edit image, edit the generated image. Choose yes to edit the current generated image, choose no to continue with the standard generation flow. So it means that it will create a fresh image. Okay, so with respect to the prompt, it will start generating its own image. If you want to create make modification to this particular image, you will have to select yes. Okay, remember that. So this is one of the most important stuff. Then you can provide the direction saying that I don't want this headline, or change the any particular portion of the image. You will say that, and you will generate a new image. Let's say I'm just going to try to generate an image. takes almost like 60 seconds. So we'll wait. I'm just going to pause. So if you notice the image has been generated, you want to view, so you view the image. Okay, so this is the dashboard. So safety equipment image is there. Right now we are unable to see that image. Hold on. Yeah, so you're able to visualize. You can click close or open in a new window. Okay, and you can save it from here. Let's say we'll go down to, so this is how the whole product works. Okay, thank you.